Okay, here's a lesson in deciding if it's a rock or a cow patty. Because when I set up my tent last night, it's like, oh, is that a rock? Is that a cow patty? Because they really look a lot. Here, let's show you. Rock or cow patty? Cow patty. Rock or cow patty? Rock. Cow patty. Yesterday was another hard day on the trail. I'm making sure I do at least miles because I've got to make sure I have to have discipline to get to the water sources in time. But I'm doing pretty good, except for the gas for my stove. Twice now, oy vey, what's going on? But what's nice is today is, can you see all these beautiful, I think they're cirrus clouds that hopefully are going to keep the sun at bay somewhat, because yesterday it was very intense, very intense. So I was back to doing my 10 steps at a time, especially on the uphills with the heat. So, and there's a breeze. I'm gonna try something new today. I've only been on the trail almost 3 months. We'll see how the heat goes. I'm getting a little bit of an earlier start, and I'm thinking about like the hot, like 1:30 to 2:30 or 1:30 to 3. Just if I find a shady spot, just kind of hang out and relax, because it seems like when I try to push through, even though I'm not going fast, it really drains me for the rest of the hike. So, I mean, that's what, 99% of the other hikers do. They stop in the heat of the day. What a concept. Look at how pretty this is. Oh, there's somebody resting over there. I am really, really struggling with this heat. And add the steepness to it. I was just talking to a gal, and she said she's also heard that anybody who has suffered a heat stroke, their body's never the same, and it's really hard to process heat. And I can tell you right now, it's scary. So I'm just going from a little bit of shade to a little bit of shade, even though I have my umbrella. It's still hot, hot, hot. Trying to get to a place, and I'm just going to lay down for a couple hours and see if I can get some strength back after I get to the top of the mountain, right? Oy. Look at this tangled up mess laying on the trail here. Gotta go up and around. There's a mama squirrel sitting right up there, watching over her little baby. Who's down here eating. I don't know if you can see him. Well, I took a 2-hour nap, rest in the shade, had lunch, and now it's pretty much straight uphill. I've got a 2,000 foot gain in the next 4.5 miles. So just taking it very easy, and I'll be glad when the sun goes down, because the breeze is kind of gone right now. Clouds aren't helping too much, but that sun is intense. When it touches your skin, it just burns. So do or die to get to the water source, and then I'm camping out and drinking lots of water. But the other thing I was going to tell you is, for about the last couple miles, and still, I keep smelling rum. I wonder what plant smells like rum. And I don't know if it's real or if it's a joke on Gut Hook saying that there's a rum stash at 602. I don't know. Anyway, rum. Anybody know what plant smells like rum? Raise your hand. Squirrel. So I'm just hanging out here with the water and this little squirrel. You coming up to see me? You coming up to see me? What's going on? Anyway, so today's a new day. I feel better, but I think I started telling you, my foot all of a sudden is just really acting up again. Not like when I initially sprained it, but like this morning I couldn't walk on it very good without having it wrapped. And it's got bruising on it. So I tweaked it many times coming up the mountain yesterday. It's acting up, so we'll see how it does today. I've got some ups and downs today, but nothing like what yesterday was. It was completely uphill. Even the young'uns were having trouble as they speeded past me. Speeded, is that a word? Okay. Let me get this mess packed up, and then I'm off to a new adventure today. And I kind of want to, oh, there's the squirrel again. I kind of wanted to explain what these springs are that hikers come into. The Department of Forestry, maybe, BLM, what they do is they stick these pipes way down in the ground to where the springs come from, way underground. And so that even when the top dries up, there's water coming out for wildlife. So see, here's this big tub. And here's where the water comes out of the spring. So when we say spring, it's not necessarily just coming out of the ground, but you see it always coming out of a pipe. But we still filter it all. Hey! I think it'd be way cool to just sit there in the bushes all day or just hang out and see all the different animals and that come drink from that trough. Today's fare is up and downhill, campsites and springs everywhere, totally opposite of yesterday. But then after I get to the Lander Spring, it's going to be pretty iffy. I think it's a 30-mile water carry, and I'm just not sure if I can do that. I might have to drop down into Kelso. So we'll see. All of it is negotiable. I'm not here to die. But off we go, and there's the trail. It's a beautiful day. Oops, somebody forgot their coffee. They gotta turn around and go back. I am so thankful that so much of the trail today is shaded by these beautiful pine trees. You get the wonderful aromas of the pines the different greeneries. It's very pleasant. Still hot, still steep, but pleasant. So I thought I'd lay down here for a little bit, checking the ground to make sure it's not full of ants, and I look up and there's a big old rattlesnake hanging out. So I pulled out my camera to take a picture of him, and he heard the ground click, so now he backed up into the rock, but he's still rattling. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll show you. He doesn't like me. You can see him. He's retreating. I knew I recognized the roar of that guy. Sorry I couldn't get my camera out sooner. I'm busy trying to get all the ants off of everything. I was laying down relaxing, and all of a sudden there was ants everywhere. So I've got everything in the sun trying to get them to go away. Ugh. Ah! So much for relaxing in the afternoon. Look straight up. It's black.
Oh yeah, there it is. Cool.
Going through this forest right now. Early evening, it just smells so wonderful. It's starting to cool down. It's beautiful. Got the wonderful scent of the pine and the forest. Speaking of running water and nature calls, remember the old joke, you know why turds are tapered? So your butt doesn't slam shut. It's the heat. I'm not sure what type of plant this is, the bush, but man, the flowers smell so sweet. Little tiny flowers. Oh, another rough day. I think I figured out why my foot that I sprained is back giving me issues. And I think what the reason is, let me put my sticks down here, is because the steep that we're coming up, a lot of times the trail it looks like it's straight, but it's actually on a slant. So you're always walking on a slant. Well, now this really very steep mountain that we've been climbing the last 2 days, some level spots, but mostly very steep, is not only steep, but slanted. So it's like my foot is like twisting in weird directions and pushing off as well, because you're going uphill. So it has reactivated it. I couldn't walk on it this morning without the brace on it. And it's just talking to me big time, and I can feel it swollen. So I'm excited to get to the campsite, get my shoe off so I can let it breathe.